Welcome to Soundbreaker. In today's episode, we're talking to Joseph Perla, who is the CEO of Hangout. Thank you for joining us today. And for our listeners who might not be familiar with you, if you don't mind introducing yourself and before we dive into it.
Sure. I'm Joseph Perla. Hello. I am the CEO and founder of Hangout, the newest social music media platform. And I was founder of Turntable.fm back in 2011, which is also a very popular social music platform. And I'm kind of bringing it back, but with Hangout.
By the way, the name Hangout says it all. You know, the music is all about hanging out, letting it loose, enjoy, connect, unite with other people. And Hangout pretty much really says it all. I'm even surprised you're able to get the domain name. That's a really very catchy domain name. You could never get it out of your mind. Like the first time you told me about it, it stuck in my head. Um, Joseph, you've been in the music business for a while. Obviously, you
Yeah.
had the Turntable FM back in the day.
The Hangout.fm is
What?
the domain, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
it,
Hangout.fm.
it
Yeah.
yes, Hangout.fm. Okay, so remember Hangout.fm. So Joseph, what really drove you and into the music business to take that path? Was it influence? If we go back to your teenage years, parents
Yeah.
or you part of a band, mom, dad, grandpa, somebody that influenced you, hey, you know what? This is what I want to do in life, and that's the path I want to carve for myself.
I was always very interested in the quality music, and that could be pop music as well. I have strong interest in classical music, but also classic rock, jazz. I just felt this strong passion for just hearing intricate qualities and really letting it be calming or exciting or just help an intellectual capacity around it. But what I really got excited about was the community aspects of music. So later on, when I was in college, I would go to music festivals and things like Lightning in a Bottle or Ultra Music or Burning Man. And music was a big part of bringing people together. And what inspired the original idea for Turntable in 2010, I was with a girlfriend who was long distance, and I would send her music. YouTube was a new thing back then, so I would send music videos on YouTube, and she would send music videos as well that she would encounter. So I got to know, and we talked about it. So we got to know her through those music videos, and she got to know me. And it was a point of discussion, but it also, lets us send each other a vibe. And so I realized, wow, this is something that is really fun. Is that community aspect is so important to me. So the community aspect of music festivals and of this kind of just basic idea of sending somebody a song, sending someone a mixtape, and that's what really got me into building something more around music and really dedicate my life the last 20 years to that.
So pretty much you're beginning into the music business. You started as an innovator, as an entrepreneur, also not just an innovator, both an innovator, entrepreneur, who you really always thought outside the box. So it's not something new. It's something that from the beginning, always looking to innovate, to expand, to change, to say, okay, this is the way it is. Well, let me see if I can put another spin on it and see how far we can take it. And that's what the music business is all about: is being constantly innovating and evolving. Um, Now, there's a lot to talk about, but let's see what really inspired you to say, you know what, I want to bring back, what you had before Turntable. I want to
Mm.
bring it back, but more of a spin of what's happening now, what the business need. Because obviously, to do something, you always see the faults and challenges, and I don't want to say mistakes. Just you'll say this is old. It need to be changed. Like, come on, for how long we going to be doing this? This is not going to work forever. We need to add something new, please.
Yeah. Yeah, so in 2011, Turntable went viral, had tons of users, but it wasn't licensed properly, got shut down, and the whole company got shut down. And I was a bit sad about it, and I'd always wanted to come back to it, kind of open source it, build it again. I was always, even 2016, 2017, I was thinking about it, like, oh, should this happen? I ended up going to work at Facebook early, and then I was at Lyft early running the growth team there. So I got to practice a lot of skills in growth and building startups in Silicon Valley for years and years, but not coming back to music for a while, but always having in the back of my head, like, oh, something like this should exist. It wasn't until 2020 when I had moved to Berlin during COVID that I was hanging out with a lot of my friends there were musical artists, were DJs, and they were so sad that they couldn't DJ in any of the clubs. All the clubs were closed because it was COVID. So they were just saying, wow, I can't, this is my lifeblood and I can't even do it anywhere. And I looked at them and I said, well, I mean, what about online? You can't do this anywhere. You can't do this online. They're like, what do you mean? And I said, what about turntable or a clone of turntable? And they said, what's turntable? And they'd never even heard of it, right? It was so long ago, it wasn't really available in Europe. And I realized maybe this needs to exist. And so I started to research it in 2020, and I saw that there was nothing like turntable. There were a bunch of clones that died, and I looked more into it, and no one really had done the hard work of getting a license and launching a real thing that worked. So I tested that thesis. I created a crowdfunding campaign, and I said to people, hey, do you want to bring turntable back? Do you want to do something where, this is what happens? And everyone said, yeah, absolutely. Here, take my money. Here's my credit card. And thousands of people gave me their credit card. They gave $1, $10, $100. Somebody actually donated $1,000 for me to bring this
Wow.
back. And
How
once I
much you
saw that, I
managed to
was
raise?
tens of thousands of dollars. That's just from the
Wow.
little donations thousands of people gave, and then raised hundreds of thousands and then millions of dollars to actually finish off the job. And just from that, I could see in 2020, this is absolutely something that people want. I asked them, if you didn't have this, what did you replace turntable with? They said nothing. There's nothing like it. Even a decade later, I asked them, okay, so it's clear now, even once I do launch this on January 19th, will you pay for it? And obviously they would. They pulled out their credit card already, and I had nothing. So clearly, this is something that there is a market for and that I should build it. So in 2020, I started to form a team, build out the code, start talking to the music labels, get it all together. And the more and more people I told about it, the more and more people have been excited about it. And so now we have a huge, huge wave of people excited to join and make this whole revolution in social platforms happen.
Hmm. So, what's the goal behind it? I mean, obviously, it is revolutionizing idea. You're changing kind of the landscape of the streaming platforms between me and you. You're changing it. I mean, are you going to be one of the first new wave consuming content, which is consuming music, and that's how it's going to work? The old way that we know, you go in, you have a membership with one or the other, and there's about 400 or 500 of them now, and pick the best one, and one that's available in certain countries, one is not. But is this the new way that's get people more of that experience to look for now? It's not just listening to music by yourself and had the headphone and just go to Spotify or go to this or that. We're not putting down these technologies. No, I mean, they serve their purpose for a certain era. But obviously, there's always room for improvement and new innovations, and
Yeah,
that's where you came in.
yeah, it's a great question. So uh, we're not replacing anything. We are a whole new category. So Apple Music and Spotify and all the other DSPs you mentioned are great services for solo streaming. That's
Correct.
what they created themselves for. It's for solo streaming. We're developing a whole new category called group streaming, group music streaming. And that is a whole enhancement to this idea of streaming, but it's a separate thing. You will always have solo streaming. I think everybody knows that solo streaming is great. People spend dozens of hours a month solo streaming, and they always will. Sometimes you just want to work out and you just want to stream alone. You're right. It's not a group thing necessarily.
Correct.
Sometimes you want to listen to a podcast alone, right? You just want to solo stream that on your own, right? It's not a group activity. But music always has been a group activity. So we want to support that use case of turning on the radio and everyone hears the same song, playing a song at a party, everyone hears the same song, virtually being in a party online and everyone hears the same song, throwing a listening party because your favorite artist is throwing a new album release party and you also want to listen to it all at the same time at midnight. That is another use case that it's not really what Spotify and Apple Music were designed for. And just they're really good at solo streaming, and we want to focus on group streaming. So we're a separate, on top enhancement, and that's what we've designed everything around. So we do have subscriptions, and they're just a small add-on. The cheapest plan is $4.99 a month, and you can add it on to it. Whether you have Spotify or Apple Music, you can just add, create a subscription to Hangout, and then just have that easily as an extra thing that you have, and that way you and all your friends can listen together. And not everybody needs to have that subscription, just you. And if you have it, then you know that you can invite all your friends on to listen with you. But your friends can have it too, and they can get some benefits as well. But the point is that we're not replacing Apple Music or Spotify. They are core partners to us, right? We're a part of the music industry, and we want to support them. We link out to Apple Music and Spotify's songs. We import and export their music because we want to be able to take your music playlist that you built there and bring it over to Hangout. And when you build a Hangout playlist with your friends, we want you to be able to export them and bring them over to Spotify and Apple Music, because we're, see each other as part of an ecosystem, and we want to be great players in supporting that. We also have the idea of a badge on your profile so that it can say, hey, this person is a supporter of the music industry and they have a subscription to Spotify. And so they get a little Spotify badge. And if they also pay for Apple Music, they also get an Apple Music badge. And if they're also a supporter of Hangout, they also get a Hangout badge. And really, this is the first time you're going to be able to actually show off that you are actually a supporter of all these different music services, because you want to show that you are supporting it. You're not just, in the olden days, 20 years ago, people were pirating on Napster all the time, not giving anything. And I think everyone's realized, no, that's not sustainable. That's not good for the industry. That's not good for artists. People want to support a good product that actually supports the industry. And so we are part of really making that even better, so that everyone, there are people who subscribe to Spotify and Apple Music, and that's great. And we want to show that off.
So Hangout is pretty much really Hangout.fm. It's pretty much also a social media platform for music goers.
Yes.
Yes. Can they? So there's a lot of interaction.
It's a music native social platform, just like Instagram is perfectly attuned for people who are photographers, for people who are very visual artists, people who are painters, people who are dancers or something like visual. If your native medium is music, you don't necessarily care to show your face on video, right? You don't necessarily care to show, dress up and put on makeup and all this stuff. You just want to focus on the vibes, on the music, and just be hanging out with your friends, be hanging out on a chill. We have the option to offer audio, chat, and video as well, but that's not the main focus. Our core is music. And I think that's actually the core of social media. That's actually always been the core of social. If you look at the first generation of music platform, of social platform, it was MySpace. MySpace had music at the core.
That was my next thing I was going to say. That was the tip of my tongue. That was the next thing I was going to say. I say you took kind of MySpace and really done something way what it's supposed to be, and here you are.
Exactly. Yeah, MySpace. Yeah. Every band had a MySpace, and as you browse on MySpace, there's music playing, and that stopped because the industry wasn't ready for that kind of thing, and that's why Facebook and Instagram, they started in 2005 and 2010. They started in the deepest doldrums of the lawsuits with the music industry and all of that. So they weren't going to touch music. So they're the second generation of social platform. They don't have music at the core, and they're great platforms, but without music at the core, like I would even question whether it's really social. And so they're getting kind of replaced by the third generation of social platform, which has music at the core. The third generation of social platform is TikTok and Hangout. So TikTok is obviously totally different from what we have at Hangout, but we both have music at the core, and that's why we're the third, the next generation. And TikTok might not even be around that much longer, but that's a different kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely. Now, with Hangout, do users able to communicate and exchange information, talk to each other, whether
Yes.
verbally or just by messaging or profiling, changes, I'm sorry, not profiling, changes, exchange of profile or,
Yeah, everybody has a social profile. You can link out to your other social platforms. You can link out to your playlists, and you also have DMs. You have text chat in the Hangouts. Every Hangout has a text chat. Every Hangout has, you can have audio chat. And, we also have a partnership. This is really important. We have a partnership with other social platforms
yeah.
like Discord is our first one we're going to announce. And that partnership, we actually are embedded inside Discord. So all their 200 million users can use it directly without any install. And inside of there, they can also audio chat and video chat and hang out and listen to music and all of that.
Is there a way that, let's say, I can come in to download the app? The app is available, I'm sure, on iOS and Android. I download the app, and can I scroll, or I have to pay a membership, or in order to interact, I have to pay the membership? If I don't, can I just come in and scroll and watch and listen? Or
Yeah, you can come in and use it for free and scroll
yeah,
and listen and hang out as much as you want. Somebody in the spaces is going to be supporting creating a hangout space, and then you can join someone else's hangout space. So you can come in, listen, you can DJ, you can pick songs, but that person is the person paying for your subscription to hang out in public
uh-huh,
or private hangouts, and that's the idea. And then when you get excited and want to run your own hangout, you can also pay a subscription. You can also, again, just pay a subscription to get higher quality audio or to support the industry, support the artists, support Hangout. You're going to be able to buy avatars from our avatar store, so you'll be able to make new kinds of avatars that really show your support for your artists, support for potentially other partnerships that we do,
yeah.
and actually customize your experience more and more.
So is Hangout.fm is going towards also visual, not just audio, also visual?
We have the ability to do video just through the Discord integration as well, yeah. But the visual part is also your avatar, so you can, upload pick an avatar, and that has like a visual element. So the way I describe it, if you have heard of Club Penguin, everyone loves Club Penguin. So we kind of have a plug Club Penguin mode that you can put your Hangout in, and in the Club Penguin mode, you have a little avatar, and it can dance and jump, and you can have it interact with the other avatars there.
Wow, really amazing. I don't
Yeah.
want to say this, but I hope that doesn't happen. But if the whatever the powers to be decide to eliminate TikTok for now, everybody going to be at Hangout.fm.
Yeah, we're totally different, obviously, but I
Yeah,
think if you want to listen to music and hang out with other people, this is the place to do it. It's expressly
because
designed
there's
for
no
it.
any other way to hang out beside Facebook, and really, Facebook is not a hangout place. You
No,
kind
no,
of,
it's not.
yeah, it's not. Yes, absolutely.
And TikTok, and also you have to look at it not just from the fan side, but also the artist side. So artists right now are going to TikTok and they're cutting videos with music and
Yes,
promoting their music on TikTok. But if
correct.
their audience goes away, then you're going to want some other place to show music off in a music native place, right? You want a music native kind of Instagram
Yes, correct.
that is really promoting, really focused on that. And that's what we're, are focused on and will always be focused on. So we're already seeing artists come to us through our label partnerships to do album releases on our platform. So we've had Greta Van Fleet do a music video release, an album release, promote their tour, sell merch. We've had Sophie Tucker on recently, who we just did a show last week. We
Hmm.
had Girl in Red. We're having a bunch that just happened, and we're having a bunch coming on this year. And they're already seeing the big benefits of coming on, getting a lot of streams, meeting all their fans in an intimate, cozy hangout, and then seeing their charts go like bazonkers from that.
There's nothing like this out there. Exists. There's nothing out there.
I'm shocked
And
because again, I showed everybody how it works in 2011, and you're right. There's nothing,
no,
nothing like it.
nothing. And when it's funny that when you mentioned MySpace. So we both were thinking the same way. And I'm like, wait a second, this is what MySpace is supposed to be, but it's gone. And it was ahead of its time. It didn't get the support that it started great. Everybody was on MySpace. It became kind of social for music, and then it kind of took a wrong turn, and it just died out. But I could see a couple of platforms. I would say put in bids to your email box and say, hey, we want to acquire, Hangout.fm and make it part of our platform.
Well, we're
I
already
could see
partnered
that.
with a lot of the biggest companies, labels, Universal, Sony, Warner. That's been announced. We're partnered
Yeah,
with Discord. It's one of the largest
yeah.
social networks. We're partnered with Apple Music and Spotify. That's how we're importing and exporting the playlists. SoundCloud as well is also a way that we're importing and exporting that kind of stuff. So you can play SoundCloud. And so, yeah, if anyone wants to email me, I'm happy to partner with everybody. And that's what every
Amazing,
discussion begins with.
amazing.
So we want to
Yes,
integrate with everyone, right?
oh yes, absolutely. Because I mean, it's needed and pretty clever. There's nothing out there that combines social with music, and Hangout it is the kind of perfect platform to be on. Because music always needed a place to hang out. And here we go. Artists, fans could exchange. So I see from your creation, and you're always empowering artists. You're always kind of, supporting indie and major artists, but it's really giving more empowerment to artists and fans and users to be all connected together. And that's where I think the future of the music business heading towards the path that it's at right now.
Yes. Yeah,
Hmm.
there's increasing in the last 5 years, it's been increasing understanding that the future of music is in the super fans. It's in the fans, and I actually like to say the fans and the micro fans and the super fans as well,
Hmm.
because there's also a lot of benefit in really engaging all the micro fans as well, who aren't as big as super fans, but there's a lot of them, and they actually support community. They're a big part of it. And so building intimate spaces where you can, pick as a lottery your top super fans or top micro fans, and having them have totally kind of beautiful experiences turns micro fans into super fans. So really you just want to enable all of it.
I mean, Hangout is a place also for independent artists to come in, bring their new creation, let the world see it. If they're not being distributed on some of the other, DSPs, and could Hangout be their starter point or their only place that they
Absolutely.
feel comfortable and they control everything on it?
Absolutely, exactly. So we're very proud of our partnership with Merlin as well, which is not as well known as a major label sometimes with the fans, but
Yeah.
Merlin's an amazing association of hundreds of independent labels. And these indie labels are providing a ton of music to us as well. And fans are streaming it so much on our platform. And so when
Wow.
an indie artist is saying, how do I promote my music? They're going to think TikTok, however long that's going to last. And they're thinking Hangout. And so we also provide tools for artists on Merlin or off of Merlin to be able to bring their music to our platform and actually promote it, build up a cult following in their own hangouts, talking to their fans one on one. That's how, just like how fans used to get big in the old days. They used to go
Yes.
to a little venue and they just played over and over again until everyone got to know them and love them. And then suddenly they started touring and everyone started to buy their albums. And so that's the same kind of thing you can do on Turntable, on Hangout.
But on Hangout.fm, could independent artists come in and just plug in their music there, create an account, create a profile pay artist profile page, and have their music there available also for other
we're
users?
partnered
And
with we're partnered with everybody who would plug into us, and
yes,
we're adding that more and more. We also actually have the ability to upload, so artists, even major label artists who are playing around with stuff and want to upload music and play it
yeah,
to a small group of people, see what they think about it live. Where can they do that now? They can't. And so, they can actually get feedback about that now. But we're not a DSP, we're not a distributor. So, I don't want to emphasize that we're doing that. We want to, we plug in with all of them, and we want to plug in with every distributor. But yeah, so we what's the other one we plug into? Believe and TuneCore. So we're plugged into that. So any independent artist can easily be using Believe or TuneCore. that all that music is already appearing on our platform and is
Amazing.
available. Yeah.
That is definitely amazing. Great invention. You've been, I mean, what is next for Hangout.fm? What to expect in the upcoming, I would say, 3 to 6 months?
Yeah, so we're eventually finally going to do our full global launch on every platform on January 19th. It's very exciting. Um, and then after that, in February, we're planning on launching the Avatar store. So that's when you'll be able to buy avatars from your favorite artists and show them off. And through the rest of the next 6 months, 12 months, we're going to just keep adding users through past the launch. And actually, the goal would be get to millions of users by the end of the year or much sooner, and really have a whole community. And I said users many times, but really I call them members of our Hangout community. And it's really a family, it's really a community of people we're trying to put together, where people are caring about music, they're caring about finding obscure music, they're caring about promoting their top music, sharing pop music. We had the BTS Army on the platform yesterday, taking over, just promoting their favorite music. And we just, we love those members. We love every member sharing all their favorite tracks.
Amazing. Well, as an entrepreneur who been through your journey, any advice for other entrepreneurs who kind of gonna listen to this interview or watch you on other interviews that you've done, other podcasts beside ours, besides Soundbreaker, and say, you know
Mm.
what, I love what Joseph did, and I really want to carve my own path and do what he's doing, being an entrepreneur in the creative business.
Yeah, it's a good question. So I would say what I've seen other people give in terms of advice, I would say it's a hard path. You really are going to break through brick walls. And, just like breaking through a brick wall, it's going to hurt. And you're going to do that over and over again. So really don't, I wouldn't recommend you get into entrepreneurship unless you are really committed to doing it. You feel like you're the only person that can do it. Feel like the only person that wants to do it is going to push through, and that you realize it's not going to take just a few months to do something really innovative. You have to accept that it's going to take years of breaking through brick walls and like really extending yourself and realizing, it's very satisfying as you get through all of it. You really can look back and say, wow, I didn't even realize how hard that would be and how much fun it was in the end. But yeah, I think that's the grit side of it is something that I underestimated a bit, and I'm realizing is really, really, really a key part of it. And that's what the same advice Y Combinator has understood about it.
Amazing. Well, Joseph, I want to say thank you for joining us today at Soundbreaker. Really, thank you for taking the time. Amazing invention. Big fan. Hangout.fm, definitely the new platform for independent artists and other musicians and fans to communicate, to get your music out there. And as you said, every single indie and major artist that's been given to any of the major companies or distributors or aggregators or delivery platforms, it's available on Hangout.fm. Amazing. Well, this concludes today's episode of Soundbreaker, and please make sure to follow us on socials and stay tuned for other episodes. Joseph, thank you very much, sir, and I appreciate it.
Thanks, Bob.
If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share the Soundbreaker podcast. And if you are joining us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.